and support with Coach Grabs.
Facing them today is that North American team that's going to lose today. Definitely not going to beat G2 Esports with Huni in the top lane, Dardoch in the jungle. Fenix is in the mid lane, Damonte is down the bottom lane. Adrian support, no Altec today.
Yep, it's kind of the Fnatic strat almost, and you're using those double soul laners. It is obviously a double mid laner. We saw C9 try this. It didn't work out for them in the NALCS, but I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's not really that crazy of a swap up.
Sure, absolutely. Let's talk about these teams a bit more. Of course, yesterday we saw G2 move away from their funnel comps. They've run about 2/3 of the time over in Europe. They got some really good champions, and they got that win over 100 Thieves all the same.
Yeah, I think they saw the draft and realized to get Nocturne, Aatrox, Zoe, like these kind of picks, which are super, super powerful in the current meta. So they grabbed them instead of going for the standard compositions. And I think, like Perkz on that Zoe, overall had a lot of good things, but also had
highs, low lows.
Yeah, he definitely died a lot. It was a messy game from G2.
Yeah, it definitely was. And you know, if they're going to play standard, we want to see them kind of be a bit more clean in closing out the game, because that one went on for a very long time with them at an advantage.
And now, of course, they're against a different team in Echo Fox, who have brought a new, unique lineup this time around. This is the first time we've seen this organization of players together on stage, so it's going to be a fun one to watch for.
Yeah, and Huni yesterday was very aggressive and ended up getting punished for it pretty heavily. You know, the Renekton game to me was the more kind of offensive of the two, as he was playing funnel strategy, no jungle backup, and constantly going forward and kind of getting punished for it.
And that's why we don't really need to see a funnel strat from these guys, because Dardoch, if he's actually on a real jungler and not a Alistar with Smite, he can do stuff like the Kindred game where he actually carried his team to a victory against Splice. So I prefer the standard draft, where also a guy like Huni can actually get help in the top lane.
And also, you know, we've got to say, Damonte being in the bottom lane seems a bit crazy, but yesterday on Syndra, he actually, I think, was the best performer in their first game. Did have the one kind of silly flash in and death for a trade kill, but was deathless on Zoe. I believe had only one death on the Syndra. Both games did perform very well, so an impressive start to the event for a guy who has not played on their LCS squad yet this split, and really making a case for himself to become one of their starting players.
We'll see what happens here in this one. It's going to be an exciting game to watch for, what kind of comps they can play and what kind of champs are going to run through here. Of course, the Heimerdinger ban should be no surprise, nor is the Nocturne, but with the final bans on this side is Huni, Talia, and now Kindred also off. I mean, Dardoch had a very good Kindred game yesterday, one of the most dominant Kindreds I've seen in quite a long time, and trust me, I've fed some jungle Kindreds before. This is still better than that.
I mean, when you get that many bounties, the game becomes just about the Kindred. It's so easy to get that damage out with all the extra range, so it makes sense to take it away there, and I'm going to be interested to see what the last ban is. So certainly, Aatrox is up, Kai'Sa is up. They could be running something like a funnel, but instant lock for that Aatrox.
And we have to remember this Aatrox can go to a lot of different lanes, like jungle Aatrox, especially something I've seen a lot of in solo queue. Mid lane Aatrox should be a thing you can go for as well.
Yeah, I've actually even been hearing some talks about actually mid lane Aatrox with Smite, similar to how the talent is working. You know, kind of trying to play this extra style where he has a lot of AoE. You can kind of farm both the Raptor camps and push out mid lane and try to look for that sort of play. Huni, though, locking in that Renekton early. And
I kind of want Aatrox versus Renekton top lane, just like lane bullies versus each other.
But it's definitely happening.
Yeah, and then
these aren't flex.
The Renekton is definitely not a flex.
I mean, they could be,
the Aatrox you can flex. You can just grab a tank top if you want to, and Huni can be aggressive, and you can gank him again like Fnatic did. But I want the two guys going against each other, Wunder versus Huni. Wunder already said in the opening feature he wants to face him, he wants to destroy him. Get him a jungler that can actually gank, and then get some action top side.
1v1. No junglers. No junglers allowed.
Dual funnel, no junglers allowed.
No rush 20.
I'm okay with that one as well.
No rush 20. Goodbye, Renekton, then. You don't get to play the first 20 minutes of the game. That's going to be unlucky. But, all right, Jankos, the best Braum in Western League of Legends. And he actually went for it. With the Kai'Sa alongside. Get you a player who can do both. G2 going tried and true.
It's never a fair fight here, Martin, because now Echo Fox is going to be locking in a jungler.
And they're going to kill Wunder top lane. But at least Perkz going to get fed.
Yeah, perhaps. We'll see. But they could go for a funnel themselves. It's still possible to put the Vladimir bot, look for that sort of funnel strategy. Rumble mid is actually something that Echo Fox Academy ran, and a lot of teams have been using this as a counter to funnel. It does give you a lot of very heavy push, and also the ability to kind of with an aggressive jungler, follow the funnel into their own jungle, look for these kind of jungle corridor fights with the early ultimates, and really try to pick on those marksmen early.
Yeah, the only thing you got to be aware of as the Rumble in the early game is you don't have to necessarily try and over-push the lane when they're already there clearing it. Just wait for them to go into that jungle and then push it out really quick, and then they can't really get a whole lot in return. So far it's looking like the Vladimir bot, Rumble mid, and Renekton top lane.
And I'm very excited to see how this actually works out because, Echo Fox having talked to some of their coaches and their players, they're pretty confident playing into funnel. Now this is, I think, the best Western funnel team going up against Echo Fox, who feels that they can dismantle their strategy. And it's going to be really exciting to see this clash of styles and find out, again, kind of which is the superior strategy or perhaps which is the superior team.
Sure, and Echo Fox, I think, is definitely one of the most innovative drafters. I think every team has expressed how hard it has been to draft against Echo Fox because it feels like you have no grasp on what they're going to do. And whether they are being random or they are so ahead of the curve that they have a million strategies ready and a million pivots ready to go, I like to think it's the latter here. They're just ready to go on a whole bunch of different things. I'm very excited for what will come through onto this, as it's now the end of this part of the draft phase. Sejuani, Aatrox off the table on the one side, and two big supports that Wadid might play with Tahm Kench and Morgana off the table.
I really would like to see Pyke or an engaged support. Something that can start a fight because, Rakan is actually fine as well. But against funnel drafts, typically you want quick engage so you can actually jump onto the AD carry before the team can react and kill for them. And within 1 or 2 seconds, you can decide the entire fight. Because Perkz dies, well, then G2 barely can bring anything to the table. So I really think Rakan is a good choice. We saw Sword Art really abuse this earlier today, or yesterday, I guess it is technically, over in the other Rift Rivals. And it's a good choice, but Pyke could have been another one.
And we're going to have to see how can Adrian actually perform on this, right? Because this is, I think, while it can be a very, very effective champion, Adrian generally is not the main engage for the team, I think, it's fair to say. So we'll see how well he's going to be able to perform. Shen, Karma as the bot lane here. Yeah. And this really does, as you said, kind of feel all in on Perkz. Especially with this sort of a draft. If you draft like a brand or whatever, it's more flexible, but this is all Perkz all the time, and it's going to be up to Echo Fox to dismantle the side lanes before they get there.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing about the side lanes. The AP
yes!
jungler.
Oh, wow.
That's so much early game damage.
Your boy Wunder is probably not going to be having too much fun. Renekton
he's laughing already.
Renekton Pantheon, if you have not played against this is one of the most horrible lanes to ever have to lane against. And we'll see if they actually do swap this around. Right now they have Huni. Huni is a more experienced Rumble player. They could be putting Huni mid on the Rumble, putting Fenix top on the Renekton, still playing the same style, but we may not get the Huni versus Wunder lane. And Dardoch
it's not going to be Huni versus Wunder anyway. It's Huni Dardoch.
I have a possible opportunity though. What if it is going to be Renekton mid? Like Pantheon Renekton just fights the Kai'Sa anytime she tries to take mid. Like, can you kill her through a Braum is the question.
I don't know.
It's a lot of points.
Early game, probably yes. Like the first few levels, you should be able.
And that's the question I ask. I'm not saying that is the definite sort of choice here, but that is something I want to kind of bring up as an option. We had seen, for example, Brandini picked Rumble into Aatrox, and yes, lost the matchup. He was against an actual jungler, but we've seen that matchup be opted into before, and I want to pose that as an opportunity here.
Yeah, certainly a possibility, and a cool little fun fact I just got is actually, when Fenix was in Korea, he was playing actually under the name Miso and was a Renekton one-trick, so certainly is going to be comfortable on the pick. And Pantheon with his W being able to actually proc his passive that absorbs turret shots. Renekton with the ultimate, also an incredibly strong diver. A lot of potential to really put Wunder behind. But that being said, Pantheon is one of the worst farming junglers in the game. If you are not effective with your early ganks, you become so useless so fast. So this really is all early game versus all late game. And it's can Echo Fox be effective with those first few ganks?
On to Summoner's Rift we go. At 15 seconds, the base gates drop. And let's see where everyone goes.
Oh, I'm scared, man. When I see that Pantheon coming in.
It's never a dull game here with Echo Fox. You're in for a treat here, man.
I know. I mean, yesterday I got surprised a lot, when we saw some of the different plays they pulled off. But today might be different on their side. I think just generally when you have a couple of weeks now, you've seen this funnel strat from G2. It's not a surprise when they pick it, and teams have had plenty of time to figure out different answers and test them. I think the only lane where G2 are feeling pretty safe is bot lane. Yeah. You're really not that scared of the early game from the Vladimir. But top lane, Wunder, most likely will hate his life.
Yep, it's probably going to be a no-fun zone up there for him. He's going to have to be extremely careful of his positioning because you can get ganked so repeatedly. One of the things, though, that did surprise me a little bit was, you know, maybe you don't want to give over the Zoe, but I feel that G2, their most effective funnel is the one with Kai'Sa, because Perkz and Jankos do a really good job of not just being passive farmers. Yep. They get out on the map, they roam to side lanes, the CC, the knockup applies a plasma here from Aatrox, so you can actually jump in, you can match roams, you can counter gank these little plays that Dardoch is going to be going for, and that is something that G2, I think, does better than any other team with funnel.
And we have to see that. Like, in this game here, if Dardoch is ganking top lane, Perkz, if he's level 6, can try and go up there and set up a counter gank. If it works, G2 suddenly gets a massive advantage. But if it doesn't, well, then you might get, you know, a team from North America getting like 3-4 early kills. Yeah,
definitely the case. And I mean, we can also see Jankos splitting up and looking to actually kind of roam on his own to look for a counter gank. Dardoch threatening an early invade, but he was spotted on the ward, so this should be no surprise here.
He wanted to fight mid lane.
I'm going to look for this one here. Of course, level 1 on both these sides until that minion drops, but with XP shared, he might not get 2 either way. Perkz is 2, Jankos is now 2 as well, and that fight's not going to be had. And so right now, the jungler somewhat wasting time as he kind of makes sure he's safe as they shove this wave in.
The one positive here for G2 is they know where Dardoch is on the map. He's not level 2 ganking top. Wunder is actually pushing really aggressively here early on, so it's important they can track where the Pantheon is going.
And being able to full reset this wave is not normally a luxury you have as the funnel comp. So I think this is so nice. You can actually bounce the wave. That means it's going to slow push back to you. And in that position, even if Dardoch is missing, you can just wait at your turret and you'll eventually collect the farm.
I actually really dislike Dardoch going towards the bottom side Rift Scuttler to try to take that, because his bot lane is not having any control. And again, it buys more time for Wunder. But now, G2 should be communicating, okay, he's left the bottom side. There's nothing for him down there. Be careful top lane.
Right now, Dardoch wasting his time. He's only gotten 1 camp and a CS in mid lane so far. Not a lot to show for himself. Finally gets the top side scuttle and not going to find himself a fight just yet. So this has not been a paying off Pantheon pick. He's trying to help the shove. Well, he's not really keeping Kai'Sa locked in much either.
But this is obviously the strategy they're actually kind of sitting with. And you can see Perkz, you know, is not that far ahead in farm of Huni right now, right? So they're kind of using this less as the surprise gank and more as just, hey, we can 2v2, which is very interesting. I do have concerns for the Equifox side is like, well, okay, great, that's working now. How long is it going to work for? You know, like, is this going to work into the mid game? Is this going to work into the late game? I still feel that Dardoch is going to have to kind of find his moment to be effective, because right now, Fenix is getting slammed in the top lane, and you're kind of throwing away that jungler advantage. Maybe you're holding mid even, but if top is losing heavily, well, where is the edge you were supposed to get?
We'll see right now. It's going to be a couple of camps going away as Dardoch does get up to level 4, but it's going to be a quick recall out from the Aatrox as Wunder is going to be safe. So at least a couple of camps got taken out, and probably is going to be a bit too unsafe for G2 to try to invade the jungle. You can see the only camp Dardoch has taken on his side of the map has been his blue buff. Otherwise, he's been trying to counter jungle, deny some of the farm that might be coming through. That is going to be, I think, an important point.
Yeah, that was really good from Dardoch getting these camps. There's still Raptor camp on the bottom side they can go grab for G2 Esports. Meanwhile, bottom lane is just going to be fairly even. Like, no one should really be dying in this lane, pure 2v2. We're kind of just waiting for the Pantheon and where he wants to go next. Is it ganking top? Or is it just go back mid, keep pushing it out with Huni, get level 6 on Rumble, and then just look to fight?
And I mean, if you're waiting till Wunder is actually 6 and Wunder is at a good point, I don't even know how easy it really is to kill him, right? Like, this is actually going more and more in his favor. Aatrox really is a very heavy lane bully, and it made so much sense to me to see, you know, the Renekton locked in combination with the Pantheon, because, well, it's such an easy setup with your stun into the Pantheon, point-and-click stun. You lock him down, you bully him early levels, you dive him. But that has not been the case, and Wunder is going to be 6 likely before Dardoch even shows up, if he shows up.
So top lane, obviously a bit of a problem for them, but at least mid lane, like, you can see Huni always pushing in. He's almost even in farm against a funnel Kai'Sa. There was no camps on top side. Perkz just really wants to go in there and kill more jungle camps, but he's not getting them. So there is something working with the way they're playing with the Pantheon for now. It's just not the early kills.
Yeah, it definitely is not. And what I always like to do is kind of add the mid and jungle farm on the non-funnel team and compare that against, you know, the farm of that Kai'Sa. You know, looking at it through that lens, Equifox certainly is doing well. They're trying to push this out so Huni can actually get a base off. I think he does want to reset, but they're getting some damage down.
Decent shot through, of course. Flame Spitter hits through the shield right there as they trade blows back and forth. Exhaust burn on the one side. Jankos is now missing that cooldown.
And this only gets worse once Huni hits level 6, and I think that's the big thing they're kind of waiting for. If he can go back, get some early items plus a level 6, then the next all-in, Jankos is not going to be able to block a lot of that damage.
burned down slowly but surely. Huni's going to try to shove this one in. Perkz is, of course, with Smite. No TP means no reach back to this wave. He's going to miss a lot of it. And Dardoch looking for the dive. It is a exhaustless Braum, level 5. Here comes the attempt at a stun. A lot of burst comes down. Here's the equalizer. They stun him on top, but he's got nowhere to go. First blood, and Dardoch flashed away from aggro. Huni the same. First blood for Fox and a great dive.
Very well executed. They started off with the aggro from Dardoch. He uses his spear, not his W to start. Pulls aggro. First passive shot blocked by the turret. Then the W for the reset. Second turret shot blocked. Does have to be careful here. Don't know if he's going to win this fight against Perkz.
Well, Blue Spidey can outrange him. Of course, the ult's available. Here comes Aatrox, though. Dardoch does not have flash. He's going to find a stun. He'll block some shots, but he's got no reinforcements coming. There's the chains. Almost gets one. Actually, Perkz is quite low, but Huni, of course, cannot follow up.
And Perkz actually held on to the ultimate, so, was going to be okay unless he did kind of get crit down. But a little bit sloppy there from Dardoch. Still a nice initial play from Echofox here. So again, pulling aggro with the spear, passive blocks the first turret shot, then uses the W to reset. Second turret shot blocked. Nicely done there from Dardoch.
Of course, watch the re-engage here and just goes for Honeyproof, but Perkz finds him out.
Perkz knows that he can take a bunch of damage because he's also just buying time for the Aatrox to move down. And right now, this Aatrox is very, very strong. He gets this kill here. He's 20 CS ahead in his lane. So while it's working in the mid lane, as we highlighted before, it's not really stopping Wunder from taking over the top lane.
I mean, that's Fenix's ult forced defensively, just for health there. Scared to actually get burst down. And this is, I mean, Renekton was always known as the lane bully, and this is not to say Wunder is not playing this very well. He is, but Aatrox is like almost like a new level of lane bully. This champion really can absolutely destroy people in the straight up 1v1.
And the big problem here for Fenix, whenever we look towards top lane, is just the range of Aatrox when he's landing these Q strikes. Like, the Renekton never gets to go all in because he's always lower on HP, so he's scared. And then he just keeps getting poked more and more, and he just can't match the range from Wunder.
Exactly. I mean, you try to slice and dice forward, you can get knocked up out of that. You can be dashing forward into the third Q, which is a tremendous amount of damage. But Dardoch is 6, has the Pantheon ult, will track where he's going to look to go with that. It's been a long time since I've seen a competitive Pantheon ultimate.
Losing some camps now.
Of course, Equalizer's available, so the 1-2 punch of landing ults from across the map is going to be somewhat available here, and see if they can reach the back line. Again, most of this is not blockable by Braum, so much of this damage will go through, and that can be kind of nice. Here comes the ulti, going to be a nice knock up there. Equalizer comes down, looking for the re-engage now. Who's going to win this fight? Is now the stopwatch popped as well. They're trying to burn through Jankos. Pretty good damage there, and Huni going in for a little bit more, but just going to trade blows back and forth. Ignite puts Hjarnan low.
They're going to go bot here with the Pantheon ultimate potentially. Here it comes.
They get zoned off. Wadid jumps away, and that is them off the wave. We'll see how much damage they get, but maybe not all that much.
We'll get some at least. Timed it with the cannon wave coming there. Meanwhile, top lane.
Yeah, Phoenix just forced to burn, slice, and dice, get away, and trades blows.
I mean, the physical damage vamp here from Wunder means he's just going to heal up over and over and over. This lane is just getting worse for Fenix, and I think we're going to see Wunder go for the Death Dance rush, which I think is so incredibly powerful in that 1v1. It means unless Fenix can all-in you 100-0, he can never kill you. And Fenix is so far behind that he's never going to really get to that point.
Wadid's going to find the taunt. They've got the damage as well with this one. Dardoch's going to have to burn his fight to stay alive. Does not matter. The red is going to be taken up pretty cleanly by Hjarnan, and then the kill goes over to Wadid.
Very important that G2 are finding Dardoch twice now after actually losing an initial trade either in the mid lane or in the bottom lane to get something back, because right now they are losing the first turret. Huni has been sitting mid and controlling it for as long as he could. It's just Dardoch dying.
But I would say this game is actually massively in G2's favor right now. I mean, the top lane is going so heavily to their side. Perkz, yes, has he been held down a little bit? Yeah, but I mean, it's still going to be a Kai'Sa with a really good amount of farm, with a Shen, a Karma, a Braum, all protecting him. This super strong Aatrox as well. And I'm failing to really see how Echofox is going to be able to kind of execute a lot of these fights as it gets later and later.
I'm still going to wait for the first big skirmish we will have. I think Vladimir, there's a huge difference between him and the Karma when it comes to this overall team fight damage.
True.
And obviously he's already completed his Spellbinder here, so there is a chance where you just say, if you're Xbox, okay, ignore top lane. We don't care about Fenix right now, but Huni and Damonte, they're going to be strong in the first opening team fight, ton of AoE damage, and if that's enough to stop a Kai'Sa before she gets a Rage Blade, well then suddenly you snowball out of control.
And it's so much about damage thresholds, right? Because there's going to be all this shielding as Echofox is going to collapse here on mid lane and potentially look for a fight. But if Echo Fox can do enough damage to break through and kill Perkz through his ultimate, through the, all the Shen ultimate and the Karma shields and everything all at once, then they will instantly win the fight. And if they don't do that, then it's going to look really bad. But I mean, top lane is a disaster right now for Echo Fox. Wunder is absolutely smashing Fenix in this 1v1, and that is what they kind of sacrificed.
Okay, well, equalizer on. Hjarnan down to about 2/3 HP.
turret.
Chase comes in. Yeah, who can even join for this one? Shen comes across, but who's going to help out Huni as the TP's not coming across with Fenix joining in with the fray? But now it's a 3 versus 4. Let's see if Echo Fox can make it happen. Wunder forces a kite back. They're going to wait for this one as now the rest of the team coming across as well. The top, the knockup, they got to burn him down after the passive time's out, though, to not force the revive, and they get him too early. And now we're reviving Aatrox, but in comes the fight. A 1-for-1 so far. The chase down as Perkz gets a second. And this could be very, very good for G2 as they keep on the chase, pushing in the minions, looking for the turret afterwards.
The important thing is G2 bought so much time, so suddenly Jankos and Perkz could move all the way from mid to the bottom lane, and who gets 2 kills? It's the Kai'Sa.
That's who wanted the gold right there, and they almost got the kill on Wunder, but they killed him too early, and he was still able to revive 1 second later, and he actually disappears off the map. That was maybe unfortunate there. Still a better fight, a 1,200 gold lead, and mid lane control for G2.
And now, Azale, you should be really worried.
Yeah.
Because that was the fight where Echo Fox with the Vladimir, with the Braum player, even being first with 5 members in the bottom lane, should have picked up a bunch of kills and then started snowballing. That completely backfired.
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, the Shen buys a lot of time. Huni goes in with the equalizer. Also, not having the equalizer for when the greater fight actually breaks out was very big, but Echo Fox faster on the roam, the TPs, the stand united, everything coming in from G2, and Wunder is able to buy so much time and so much space. He is really what delayed everything for Perkz and Jankos to arrive.
Yeah, it's still 5 versus 3 at the moment. They get the kill on to Hjarnan in the end, or at least they force a stopwatch for now and then can take him down. But while that happens, well, Wunder managed to get back into the fight. Perkz joins finally, and that's one of the big things about playing Kai'Sa in the mid lane is you can actually join these fights much quicker than traditional AD carries that have to run the entire way. Oh, that one didn't hit.
That was a bit close. Monte pulling the W. Now here comes the man drop. Looking for this play. They're going to find a slow and a Jankos going to go for the damage. Look at that exhaust. Not a lot coming out of Huni. And Wunder's in the mix. There's another kill in for Perkz. 3 in a row for him. G2 out, team fighting.
Yeah, the wheels are starting to fall off here for Echo Fox. I see the idea behind this kind of 2v2 matching, keeping Perkz down, but then your side lanes have to hold up, and they did not really hold up at all here with Wunder taking a solo turret top, getting massively ahead of Fenix, and it's getting tougher and tougher here for Echo Fox. It's going to be down to playmaking, to finding flanks, and really getting on top of Perkz, because if you can't get to Perkz, you cannot win this game.
Well, so far, it's not happened. 0 deaths, and he's only died twice throughout the EULCS so far. Just split one strange game yesterday in Rift Rivals, but otherwise been a very safe player with a lot of support around him this game as the gold lead is spreading. 2,500, and the Rift killed theirs as well. And
he's going to go back and spend 2,500 gold when he recalls. Even gets a faster recall for himself. He is very soon hitting his Rage Blade, and then it gets even worse.
Yeah, it really does it. And it's interesting, I can see the thought process here behind what Echo Fox is doing.
I think it made sense.
When you look at the farm, yes, Perkz has good farm, but not for a funnel. This is a guy who has hit 300 plus CS in 20 minutes in the ULCS, so they did keep him down as far as his item timings, but what I think really did go wrong is how the top lane...
The play! Knock up on a Perkz. Vlad's in there! Look at the damage that puts Shen on, though. Is it going to be enough as Hemoplague pops? Woo! And he does stay alive. That was the attempted kill, and it wasn't quite there. That
was so close, though. We talked about how you need these supports that can force fights against the AD carry. Adrian did that with his team, but because of all the shields, especially the one from Wadid, then Kai'Sa stayed alive. Important also, not giving over that bounty gold to the other side. Hjarnan's alone mid lane now.
You do see the potential there, though, for what a fight could look like, where Echo Fox perhaps wins. They do have the flash down for Perkz, the ultimate down for Perkz, but the ultimate is such a low cooldown that it's unlikely they can capitalize. Perhaps that flash, though, is what they have to look for. Try to find an opening before Perkz has his summoner back, because if you cannot take him out soon, if you cannot really get some sort of significant advantage, it just gets worse going, I think, into these later game team fights.
I mean, we know at least they will have enough AoE damage to always reach him and try and kill him if he is actually staying around a Rumble ulti, if Damonte finds him by flashing in and getting close enough. So it's going to come down to positioning. And that's luckily for G2, and one of the reasons they're 6-0 in the Eagles. It's been a great strength of Perkz. He knows how to position and fight. So Dardoch
trying for round 2 in the bottom lane, but it's a 2 versus 3 as they drop in. Perkz has the defense, but here comes Adrian. The dodge zone is in. They can't get any damage across there. Perkz stays alive. Not looking at Fenix just yet. The turret might just stay up, but another fight won by G2, and they're going to walk in.
I don't think they were expecting Wadid to be there, and they're going to look for Fenix here. Gets tagged.
He's already got slice and dice down the top flash. They're going to get him, and another one. Perkz, unstoppable.
They didn't expect Wadid, and they didn't know that Jankos is the greatest Braum in the world. Always peeling
Those
for
mechanics.
Perkz. Landing it every single time, and yeah, you think you're killing the AD carry? I thought for a moment he was going to die, but then bam, tons of CC lands, and he returns to fire.
You also have to really take into consideration the double taunt from Wadid. The parry zone makes it very difficult as well, and there's so many things that they have to work through here. They did not see Wadid. They did not know he's there until just now. They've already committed, and then the Shen comes in. Nice ultimate there, disengaging from Jankos. The double taunt into parry zone. Not enough to finish off Perkz.
Beautiful.
In a lot of these cases, they need a third member right there, and they didn't have the Rumble or the Vladimir in range. If they have that one, maybe they get the damage output there, but it feels like they need 3 damage threats to punch through supports. And now the re-engage from Tony has to flash away from a taunt. And this could be rough as Echo Fox are losing control of their jungle. Baron Nash responds in only 3 minutes.
I mean, maybe you could say, well, there's a fight where Echo Fox can deal with Perkz, but Wunder is the same level. Wunder is huge.
They're going to get the knock-up and a 1. A good equal from the back line. They should pick up a single kill, but it's a lot of volt sprint, and not even that's going to happen. Jankos stays alive, and suddenly the team is here. The cavalry arrives as Wunder picks up Adrian. This turret now going to be falling pretty rapidly. Can the defense even happen? 4v5. G2 looking for the next play.
Every single skirmish is just going in the favor of G2. The low members just never die. They always manage to get out just in time. And now mid lane turret will fall. There was another engage here. A lot of summoners being used to try and get in and kill them, and didn't work.
And that's those damage thresholds that I was talking about. When you fall behind in gold to these sort of protection style compositions, you never have quite enough damage to get a kill. And if you cannot kill Perkz right off the bat, the second round of shielding comes in here from Hjarnan, and it starts to become a case where you're out of damage and Perkz is just ramping up. And he's going to be going for a more defensive build here. He has the Ruby Crystal, he has the Null Magic Mantle, and he can easily 1v1 Fenix.
Well,
he's going to try and 2v1, yeah.
Chances are really high G2 wins this fight.
Hex
Flash in range.
Oh, what a beast.
Oh, Fenix is now running, and Perkz is just going to get the wave. So I take it back. It's a draw. Whew. Exciting battle.
Let's see it again here. So they realized, okay, tired of trying to kill Perkz, let's try and kill his support instead. They go for the greatest Braum in the world, and they think they got him, but just in time he jumps out. I'm not sure if Dardoch actually didn't auto-attack him at the very end, but anyway, he did stay alive. That means now it's fight 1 to G2. Mid lane turret did fall. And Echo Fox, man, they hate their lives.
Yeah, I mean, Echo Fox is running this essentially one-punch team, right? You have that first really powerful engage. Everything goes in, and it was a good engage from Adrian, but you need to immediately kill someone, if not 2 people, really, to realistically have a chance at winning the fight, because the rest of the fight is going to look so much worse from you as the sustained damage comes in from Wunder, sustained damage comes in from Perkz, the repeated shield come in from Hjarnan.
If G2 can close out this game here and sit at 2-0, they're really setting up for a very, very fun game later against Team Liquid, the 2 undefeated teams then fighting each other.
Yeah, undefeated with only 1 game left to play. Of course, it's going to be 3-0 between those if it goes this way, as Fenix forced to run it again, but knock-up into taunt, into knock-up. He's trying to run away. A couple more shots would do him in. And Wunder is going to lose the revive right about now, as Fenix might go for the stun, tries to kite away from some of the shots, but still gets punched. And now comes Dardoch trying to make this one happen. Does have the stun available, though. With Equalizer on top, they will pick up this kill. This trade is incredibly important. It's a pretty big shutdown. 300 bonus gold given over, and now it's time for Braum. But this could be a lot as Perkz looks for the back line. Damonte kiting back and forth, trying to stay alive. A big heal does flash over, stays alive, and he's going to get out of range. It's a 1-for-1 with shutdown gold. It's actually positive for Echo Fox for the brief moment.
They do get the kill, but I mean, Wunder 3 levels up on Fenix, making it look easy. Level 14, he is higher level than the funnel Kaisa. Wunder is just being so dominant in this game, and you can see G2 has full map control. They can be the ones to go back to the Baron and really set it up. And at this point, Death Dance plus Black Cleaver, I feel like this is the peak Aatrox really does hit. When you hit those 2 items early, you have enough CDR that it's just non-stop spam. It's so hard to escape this guy, and it's so hard to really train him down.
Well, at least they got some of the gold from killing him there, but Perkz will grab the first strike. for G2 Esports. Normally not a big focus for them in this kind of composition. It's all about the farm and not exactly getting a Drake that doesn't offer you extra gold. But for now, he's 5-0-2. His top lane, as you highlighted before, 3-1-3 as well. So you can't just actually try and kill him, because then the Aatrox might just kill your back line.
Yeah, I mean, Aatrox is just running right in. You pop the ult for the movement speed buff, and just chasing down Fenix. Nowhere really for him to go. Almost gets out, but they do trade the kill, and this is maybe Wunder just kind of styling on him a little bit. Doesn't really need to chase a kill like this, and does end up being a trade shutdown here, but G2 able to trade back a kill on him.
Exactly. So in the end, 1-for-1. Let's see what happens around the mid lane. All of G2 and Echofox are around. Oh, Perkz is actually looking for something bottom lane. Oh, poor Phoenix.
Gonna find Phoenix, and this poor Renekton's got to run pop steal, but here comes Shen. He's got to get over the wall. He's gonna try to, but he's on top of Vision, and he tried to force out the ulti, the pull the double of special, but with the ward there, he couldn't. He didn't have to rush that one. Could wait till he jumped, and that's a good kill picked up there. 10-3 the scoreline. 6,500 gold puts G2 ahead, and make that more like 7K as bot lane 2-2 falls.
It's the second game in a row where G2 just completely abused the enemy top laner. Brandini yesterday was the same deal against an Aatrox, and now this one here with the Phoenix on Renekton being put top lane. Not been fun for him.
But I mean, pretty massively different situations. Yes, they abused the top laner twice, but yesterday, Brandini was the one whose team was funneling, and he was getting 2v1. This is the game where it's supposed to be the opposite. It's supposed to be Dardoch and Fenix 2v1ing Wunder. You know, him under his turret getting slammed. Instead, they tried this kind of new approach at breaking funnel, 2v2ing mid against that funnel strategy. Meanwhile, their top lane got slammed. They didn't get enough of an advantage mid, and really, at that point, the game is almost over, barring massive mistakes from G2, because there was so much invested early in this mid lane 2v2, and nothing came from it.
They just couldn't afford to lose the skirmish, and they did. Let's see what happens around mid lane.
Play Wunder pop steal that he can revive on this one, but not going to get his way in just yet. That is an ultimate down for Adrian. The same for Wunder. Could be a positive point for Echofox. Maybe something you want to get rid of. But now the chasing us out of the map. Dardoch, he's not going to go anywhere. Slowed, killed off. Perkz is godlike and deserving of that title. 11-3.
He's just having fun right now, looking for kills left and right. Always look towards the Baron as well with G2 in these traps here. They like to try and force it early with the Kai'Sa, and then potentially just look for the fight if you do show up to try and stop them. Damonte is 1v3 mid.
Trying to clear out that wave, potentially keeping his turret alive. But yeah, I mean, they have the Mountain Dragon as well. They are going to be able to shred through this Baron very, very quickly. And it's also such a safe Baron if Hjarnan is there, constantly shielding you up and keeping you high on health.
This might be the fight, though.
4 versus 5 to stop the Baron, though. This is the fight that Echofox has to do something good in, or it's going to be over. Equalizer on the backline, decent damage. Jankos a bit low, 600 on the smite. Still gets picked up. That goes over to Perkz. Now this battle with a couple of low health bars. Jankos will drop, but Perkz is going to be taken down in the battle as the stopwatch is popped out. Now Wadid doesn't have a lot of places to go. Is going to get killed off. Baron picked up, but +2 kills for Echofox.
Nicely done from Echofox. That was a fight they had to win to have any chance in this game. They do get 3 kills, but it is 3-0. The Baron still goes to G2, so we'll see. Can Echofox pick up some more gold on the map while these members are down? Knock down some turrets and try to close the gap.
It was Phoenix who got the kill onto Perkz here. The Renekton that is so far behind in this game definitely need to get something.
And a 7-kill shutdown is like 800 gold.
It's a lot.
So that is a ton of gold on this new patch. Here it is one more time. A good equalizer to set things up.
And I think here G2 is calling, finish the Baron. We are going to lose the fight, but at least get the objective, because when Perkz is stuck in a Baron pit, he's going to get CC'd. He's going to die very quickly. Luckily for them, a bunch of members did manage to run away, so they saved the buff. But in the end, Echofox needed something. I don't know if they wanted the gold to go to Phoenix. Like, you can argue he's so far behind. Is it really worth it? He gets a bunch of extra gold, or would you want it on Damonte instead?
Yeah, I mean, probably Damonte is your best hope, or maybe a Huni, but at this point, it's like, you know, you'll take whatever you can get, right? You're not worrying about where the kill is going to go. You're just worrying about how you somehow stay alive in this game. I mean, you're looking at top lane. Phoenix is down 122 CS. Wunder is
got
up.
The bounty, though.
Wunder is up 3 levels. He has the Baron buff. Who is supposed to match Wunder in a side lane? Like, I think Wunder could legitimately 1v2 any 2 members on the map right now. And that is such a difficult position to be in, because you can show up and try to defend, but he could just straight up dive Huni if Huni is not careful.
Oh, he's going to be seizing the bot lane, and Perkz, of course, not easily touched in this mid side as well, and with him pulling more resources, that burst damage isn't there. As you said, +3 kills for Echofox in the Baron scuffle meant the gold value of that fight went equal, but with Baron buff on, mid lane tier 2 is gone. The siege continuing. Echofox still on the back foot, playing on the, inside their base here. They're waiting for their opening to make that play happen again, as almost happens there. Hemoplague almost up in a second. That's their last remaining ultimate. That could be the ghost signal as Wunder goes in. Now he's popping his ult. Now he does. He can revive, and there's the equalize from the back line. But what's this fight going to look like as Jankos stays alive? And they get a bunch of trade damage back and forth. Only the revive out, though. That's still a decent fight as the turret falls onto the inhibitor.
And Wunder just bought so much time. Yes, he trades out his ultimate, but he's still alive, and Perkz is full health.
Ooh, Adrian forced away as well. Yeah, Perkz can easily jump on people, and there's no ultimates really. As three of them got burned for Echo Fox. They don't have the tools yet left to team fight.
Well, I was looking for that last defense here to be good for them because there was no flash on Perkz. They'll flash on Adrian to start the fight, get onto him, and then try and kill him in time. But then all the time was spent on Wunder, and he, of course, just gets to walk away.
And that's why I think Wunder being the one to engage there is so brilliant. Because if you sit back and you allow Echo Fox to kind of coordinate this engage and you find that perfect engage on a Perkz, maybe you burst them down, but he preempts that. He just flies in with the ultimate. Everyone has to run from this massively fed Aatrox, and it just completely dismantled any chance Echo Fox had at getting to Perkz.
Very good at the champion, and now the siege continues. 15 seconds left on Baron. This is their last wave to push with. If they can knock the turret down, that would be great for G2. They could take their gold and leave a 10,000 gold advantage right now. And looks like Echo Fox a bit low to fight this one. Nice block of some of that damage, but anyways going down soon. Fenix a bit low. Here comes the hard engage, but there is no equalizer. Do they have the damage? No. Perkz ults backwards, staying alive. Damonte wants in, can't do it. Block of pops as well, and Perkz stays alive. The disengage force to keep that turret alive, but in the bottom lane, look at that. Wunder wasn't even part of that battle, and it was close. So now they're re-engaged. He is ultless for a little bit longer. Gets away from the man drop and almost has that ultimate. Now he does.
Keep chasing, he can actually turn on this with his ultimate, and he could look to fight it out.
Ult for ult, they're gonna get the waves.
Yeah, they're like, well, never mind, just kidding.
The wings come out and Wunder is just fine. It'll time out though, but there's no way for the bottom lane anymore. Can still fight for that thing. Perkz, no ulti as well, gonna go in for more turret damage. This time though, no Baron buff on, and a lot of golden pockets means items not spent right now.
This time he got flash ready. Wasn't that last, but they actually got onto him, but the QSS and all the shields from Lockett, from the Karma, and of course from a Shen managed to keep him alive, and it's so hard for them to burst him down with so many defensive tools, and they have to deal with this stupid Aatrox in the bottom lane.
Yeah, no one is going to be able to deal with Wunder, really, unless this game is going another 40 minutes, but it's triple inhib down, and you're not getting to 40 minutes. You're not getting anywhere close to that unless G2 decides to let you. They reset. They're going to spend up all this gold, and they have such a tremendous amount of gold in their pockets. They are going to be massive.
So very interesting Baron power play. Plus, not all that much gold because of the kill trades back and forth.
But still, triple inhib, right?
Yeah,
you know, what is the value of that?
They get an Infernal Drake, worth it.
That's true.
Gonna fuck them stats.
Double Infernal, it's...
Oh, the man didn't even get it.
Nah, there. Rumble's in base. I mean, if he can't fight this one, he's really necessary. But of course, Wunder out as well. But even still, I would take that 4-on-4 for G2.
Yeah, and I mean, all G2 has to do is sit here. If Echo Fox is going to kind of do a standoff, you just delay them. There's 6 super minions spawning per wave that are going to be marching down the map. For Echo Fox, it's going to be the last defense here in the base, and their only chance in this situation is an instant engage, because otherwise you'll be run over by the minions.
These are some magic AoE to get rid of some of this stuff, but here comes a split push as the TP comes through. Wadid actually going to split push top side, has dropped portal and inventory, so doing what we saw a little bit ago in the previous game. Wants some extra sieging power, and I like that actually as a way to try to end the games and make sure that can work. Sub 30 minutes, triple inhibitor down. Death Cap for Huni, not yet though for Damonte on this Vladimir, but we're gigantic. A 4-item Perkz there, has the MR, a death stance to make sure he can survive the burst as well, which I quite like. As the siege comes in now for these little bit nerfed Nexus turrets, waiting for when the fight comes through, poking from all sides. Adrian now at half HP though, still.
Wunder just spam taunting.
Looking forward to Damonte, not gonna get that just yet. They're still waiting for the play, and G2 still to split out pretty well. When's the engage coming through? Dardoch so incredibly low, he can't get himself into the fight. Wunder just knocking down minis, the turrets are still falling. On the front line they go. It's gonna be the attempted ult in the back line, but it's not nearly enough damage. Trying to find the CC, they will not get these kills though, as now it's Echo Fox starting to drop. 2 quick kills, 1 traded back, make it a 3rd now in, as G2 are wiping the floor with them. It's on to the Nexus now. Dardoch forced back to the fountain. GG! G2-0, representing Europe, making it a 3-3 scoreline.
And we got to see the funnel come from G2 Esports, the one they're finding so much success with in Europe, but it was a very different game from what we have seen back then, because it was the try and shut down mid lane strategy with the Pantheon, and not what we expected, a Renekton Pantheon combo trying to stop Wunder from being a massive carry on Aatrox. Definitely a different strategy, and because they then started losing a skirmish around mid and they lost a big one in bot lane, the whole strat just fell apart.
Yeah, and I feel that this strategy can work, but only if your side lanes are winning or at least holding even, and then you can kind of go into mid-game team fights. The idea being, oh, you have this really strong Vladimir, the Kai'Sa isn't so far ahead, and, you know, Renekton has held even or maybe winning against Aatrox, then I really see how it all can start to come together. But as soon as Wunder is slamming top lane, the game is basically over. And this, you know, you can chalk it up to perhaps Echo Fox underestimating the champion. You can chalk it up to inexperience against that champion, because this is the first competitive patch where we have the new Aatrox, and whatever it is, player skill, champion skill, whatever, Wunder slammed Fenix, and that was what the game was about.
And I think it's important to highlight, it was Fenix up in that top lane. It was not Huni on the Renekton. It wasn't them saying, listen, he can hold the Aatrox in the 1v1 while we take care of mid. Because then if he just goes even, if it's possible for him, and it's Huni playing it, in the mid lane you can do the strategy with the Pantheon, which got them an early kill in the mid as well. So there were ways it could have worked. I just think the fact that Fenix ended up playing the Renekton was such a big issue for him and the team.
Well, either way, G2 with a great performance and taking the win there. So for more on that EU win, let's send it down to Avli and the greatest Braum player in the Western world.
Hey guys, Jankos, congratulations on that victory. Now, you are the most expressive player that I have ever seen during picks and bans. So what is going on through draft phase that makes you so excited?
I mean, first of all, we picked Braum, and the pick is just so fun to play, so I love to play it. But also, for some reason, I really don't know what are our drafts. Maybe it's because I play solo queue during like pick and ban, at least today. So I just didn't know exactly what we go for, but if we pick Braum, then I really don't need to know what we go for, because I'll just play Braum anyway, so it's fine.
What did you think about Echo Fox's draft today?
I mean, it looked a little bit like NA solo queue when it comes to them just playing everything everywhere. For example, Rumble mid and Pantheon jungle. I mean, it had some thought process, because you can punish us early game. They even dived me like level 4. So I think the draft overall was good, but I think if they don't get enough lead, they can win the game after 15 minutes. And after 1 kill only or 1 tower is just not enough against Super Kai'Sa.
Now, right before your game, we saw Team Liquid take down Fnatic, and you guys are going to take Team Liquid on later on in the day. How do you think that game's going to go down?
Yeah, I mean, I think Team Liquid is for sure the best team out of the all NA teams. I also think Fnatic trolled a little bit in the draft, and that's why they got, you know, they lost. I think we can play better for sure. I'm not sure if we are actually better than Team Liquid. I think we'll try our best for Europe, and I think we will take the win for sure.
Well, wishing you luck in that. Thank you again. And for more on the game, let's hear from the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. G2 Esports striking back for EU to keep things evened up and taking down Echo Fox. I want to dive straight into the draft, because we've been hearing a lot from pro players and whatnot, and Jankos there even himself saying that to him felt very much like an NA solo queue draft, what Echo Fox pulled out here this time around.
And I kind of like the idea of it, because you're going up against this funnel comp, and they have some strong pushing lanes with the Aatrox and the Karma, and you take this Pantheon, I'm like, oh, here comes the level 2 cheese ganks top. You're going to try and shut this Aatrox down, because it looks like it beats every melee champion. And then he just went mid all early game and completely couldn't abuse some of Pantheon's really aggressive pathing.
Yeah, and I do think that the Aatrox is something you want to keep banned. The struggle, though, for North America is, look at what they did ban. The Nocturne, the Zoe, and the Heimerdinger are all super high-tier picks, and G2 played a couple of those picks yesterday to a lot of success, so Echo Fox was in a bit of a difficult situation with G2 being on blue side, but I think after Wunder's second powerful performance on that pick, you got to switch it up somehow.
I also just want to illustrate that this is G2's ideal style of the funnel comp. The fact that they have a winning top lane matchup. This guy usually he played old Aatrox before. Now he's doing it on the new Aatrox as well. But the bottom lane became extremely difficult to kill. And I think that's one of the key factors that maybe some of the NA teams aren't as familiar with that have tried to run funnel. And that we saw multiple times. Dives, we saw Pantheon ultis. We saw a lot of pressure being put onto those 2v2s, but they could not kill them. And this allowed G2 to not give away that early lead that Echo Fox were so desperately looking for.
G2 kind of putting Echo Fox in a tough spot, given that they didn't play the funnel composition position yesterday and came away with the victories, and that's partly why we see that Nocturne, Zoe, Heimerdinger bans, but leaves it entirely open now for the Kai'Sa and the Braum to come through. Jankos saying he's going to be happy to play that Braum anytime it's left up in this current meta. Feels like a free win.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Echo Fox kind of doing their first iteration of the Damonte plus Fenix. Did not look very good despite Fenix being comfortable on Renekton. Really got abused by that Aatrox pick, who then became a monster later on in team fights.
Right, and because we didn't see those early kills come through for Echo Fox, that kind of, hey, let's gank and snowball method didn't come to fruition. We get to those team fight skirmish phases, and then they were plagued with some errors in decision-making.
Yeah, so I think this is a situation where they see Hjarnan alone. They think they want to find this one free pickoff. Huni starts it off, and you heard the caster saying that's a pretty big cooldown to commit to this 1v1 that quickly becomes much bigger as everyone starts TPing in. And Echo Fox is ahead of the play. You see the Braum and the Kai'Sa just leaving the mid lane now, and they have the opportunity to potentially find a pickoff with how much burst they have available, but they split their targets. They don't want to completely blow everything on the Aatrox who's going to revive, so they split up to the top side, and then that stopwatch comes in, which buys enough time for Perkz to find a kill. They're not strong enough to win a 5v5, so they needed to commit to one of the two.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing, Mark, in that if Fox had just decided on a single target to kill, then they could have walked out and they should have been safe. But instead, they didn't kill the Aatrox immediately. They didn't wait for the Zhonya's to end. They ended up splitting apart, and they didn't respect the fact that you've got a Perkz and a Jankos running down the river looking to turn this fight in their favor. And with all the ultimates blown already in the fight, with no more damage left on the side of Fox, there's no way they're going to win that. So they just tried to get everything, and they end up giving Perkz 2 kills, which starts to start the snowball.
Right, the real power from the team of G2 hasn't even arrived at the fight, and yet you still haven't even zeroed out a single member. Puts you in a bad spot when that Kai'Sa finally does arrive.
Yeah, and I want to say that aside from G2 picking the defensive hard-to-kill bottom lane and picking strong top laners, the other thing they do better than other teams who run funnel is actually get kills onto your super.
Yeah.
And so many teams just farm in the mid lane and get into a farming pattern, but Perkz and G2 in particular get a lot of kills on Kai'Sa, and you can see it here with their skill in skirmishes.
And it's really a lot of credit to this Braum. You know, you heard the casters memeing about the fact that he is the world's best Braum player, but not only is Jankos a talented Braum, but Braum just offers you so much in these skirmishes. You pair him up with the Kai'Sa, who can very quickly proc the passive, and he provides so much peel that it becomes so difficult for the enemy team to really turn things around and kind of shut Perkz down.
And at this point, he's on the full I'm going to kill you mode, level 14 to level 11 of the enemy solo laner, and he just keeps running wild after that. And like you said, so much of that was Jankos.
Yeah, and at a certain point, you're making the transition into a killer from a farmer, because at the end of the game, he actually had the same amount of CS as Wunder's Aatrox. So it was very low CS at the end of the game by super standards, but his gold was still very high. Part of that is because of the Rumble and the Pantheon and what Echo Fox was doing to limit it, but you can see at the end of it, still the most damage, still the most gold, and still the victory.
Yeah, I think there will also be some questions around, again, back to the Echo Fox draft, the idea that, okay, fine, if you're not going to play funnel against the funnel, well, why are we still role swapping 47 different people? Why is Fenix playing the top lane as opposed to your top laner just playing the top lane?
I think that's a fair question, but I think they're going for that Fnatic approach to how they build their team, where it's more about, like, you know, if Whippo is in the top lane or so is in the top lane, well, what did you draft? And Fenix plays a great Renekton, so I think I understand that. But, like, I think the bigger problem is if you're not going funnel, why are you 2v2ing mid nonstop? They did find 1 kill against Jankos, but that was it. In the meantime, you're just completely leaving your Renekton out to dry in the top lane. So I think that was a bigger problem for me.
Player on champion, but jungler positioning. Most of the time when we see the funnel get defeated, it's because the top laner gets camped.
Right. That didn't happen
Never
at all
up
here.
there. You just let Aatrox have the 1v1.
And to credit, or to be fair to Echo Fox, right now G2 is 6-0 in Europe. No team in Europe has been able to find a way to shut this strategy down, even though they've come close. Everyone is excited to see Misfits, how they handle it, but I'm looking forward to Liquid later on in the day, because if anyone is going to rival, Liquid and Misfits have very similar styles and play patterns. So if anyone's going to come up with a strategy, I'm hoping that it's Liquid.
Small consolation, but I'll take it, Vedius. Thank you very much. All right, with the regions tied once again, pressure's on for the teams in Game 3. Fnatic goes against 100 Thieves when we return. Don't go anywhere.
Oh my God! read. Your audio was...
They are getting
Spank me, Roma!
Yeah,
Spank me!
A lot of burst comes down. Here's the equalizer. They set him on top, but he's got nowhere to go. First blood, and Dardoch flashed away from aggro. Now we're reviving Aatrox, and in comes the fight. A 1-for-1 so far. The chase down with Perkz get the second. Gonna get the knockup in a 1. A good equalizer from the back line. They should pick up a single kill, but it's a lot of sprint, and not even that's gonna happen. Jankos stays alive, and suddenly the team is here. The cavalry arrives.
You got him. I'll just push.
nice.
We can still fight.
Kai'Sa no GSS.
Knock him
Kai'Sa. Nice.